श्रीपाद श्रीवल्लभत्वं सदैव श्रीदत्तास्मान् पाहि देवाधिदेव भावग्राह्य क्लेशहारिं सुकीर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। त्वं नो माता त्वं पिता प्तोऽधिपस्त्वं त्राता योग क्षेमकृत्सद्गुरुस्त्वं त्वं सर्वस्वं नो प्रभो विश्वमूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। पापं तापं व्याधिमादिं च दैन्यं भीतिं क्लेशं त्वं हराशुत्वदन्यम् त्रातारन्नो वीक्ष ईशास्त्रजूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। नान्यस्त्राता न पिता न भर्ता त्वत्तो देव त्वं शरण्योकहर्ता कुर्वात्रेयानुग्रहं पूर्णराते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। धर्मे प्रीतिं सन्मतिं देवभक्तिं सत्सङ्गाप्तिं देहि भुक्तिं च मुक्तिं भावासक्तिं चाखिलानन्दमूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। श्लोकपञ्चकमेतद्यो लोकमङ्गलवर्धनम् प्रपठेन्नियतो भक्त्या श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत्। श्रीपादराजं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीपाद श्रीवल्लभ चरितामृतम् Chapter 17 The Meeting with Sri Naamananda. When I was travelling towards Kurugadde, I noticed on the way a woman with disheveled hair laughing hoarsely and advancing in my direction. She appeared to be mentally unstable. As she was coming speedily towards me, my heart began to beat heavily. My hands and legs were trembling. 2 men were chasing her with sticks in their hands. She came running and fell on my feet and requested me to save her from those two men. Everything was confusing to me. How can a weak Brahmin who does not have even travelling fare can protect that woman in a strange place from strangers? I involuntarily said, Mother, don't have any fear. Sri Sreepada will definitely protect you from those hooligans. Get up without any fear. Those strangers who arrived there looked at me with surprise. They wondered how this person, who was no match for them in physical strength, not only considered them as hooligans, but also assured her with great confidence that he would protect her. They warned, You Brahmin weakling, we want to kill this woman of bad character. You cannot protect her. We have to kill you also if you obstruct our attempts. Keep out of our way decently. I was experiencing as if some hidden force entered into me. Words were uttered from my mouth without any effort and from no thought in my mind. Those words releasing from my mouth were such as to push me into dangerous predicament. Then I said, You were born as Brahmins, but you have unabashedly killed a cow last night. You ate its meat, drank cheap liquor, and following all atrocious activities. For such people like you, it is not difficult to kill me or this innocent lady. I am ready for anything. I am telling you this out of pity for you. You will contract leprosy after killing this lady. Those who suffer from leprosy will have abnormal desires of lust. Snakes will not bite a leper. Leprosy can be cured by medicine prepared from snake's venom, but the procedure for the preparation of that medicine is not known to all. If the lusty desire is controlled and the medicine is taken, the disease abates. If you want to suffer from the most despicable disease out of all diseases, you can kill this woman. I am telling you this out of my concern for your well-being. Those two strangers collapsed on hearing my words. Wonder of wonders, as some of my statements exactly related to their past lives, they believed that my forecast would also take place accurately. They confessed their mistakes. I appeared as a great astrologer in their view in spite of my total ignorance of astrology. We sat under the shade of a nearby tree. I requested to give a detailed account about them. Then they said, Sir, you know all the 3 times. You are omniscient. Nevertheless, as you are asking, we are telling. We are both brothers. Even though we were born in Brahmin caste, the duties of Brahmins completely disappeared in us. We were degraded on all counts. We befriended beef eaters. We were accustomed to alcoholic drinks. We committed adultery. We became debased all round with all sorts of bad habits. We saw this lady sitting in a lotus posture on a hillock. We revealed our desire. She refused. As she declined to satisfy our lustful desire, we wanted to enjoy her through physical force. But it is queer that she was coming to our grasp and immediately slipping from our hands. We were chasing her. We could see you due to our previous punya. Then I stated, God gave us discriminatory power to decide what is good and what is bad. We can derive good results if we tread good paths. If we follow bad path, we have invariably to experience bad results. This mother appears as a righteous one. You mistook her as a bad character. More than that, you approached her with utmost despicable desires. You are repenting. I don't know whether the Lord would grant you pardon or not, but I am giving you a piece of good news. In the present times, Lord Datta, who is adored by all three worlds and who is the embodiment of the Trinity, is moving in the world in human form as Sri Sreepada Srivallabha. There is no other way excepting his splendid, prosperous lotus feet to uplift horrible sinners. I heard many of his divine plays. I am going to his present residence at Kurugadde. Mother, please tell me about you. Then she started her narration. Sir, you have rescued me from these sinners. You are like my father. I was born in an illustrious Brahmin family. My marriage took place when I was quite young. How can I describe my misfortune? My husband was impotent. He was harassing me every moment. I sacrificed all desires of youth and served my husband, treating him as God. My husband was a sadist. He was alleging that I had extramarital relations with other men. When I decorated myself with flowers and garlands, which are signs of a married woman, he was accusing me of soliciting paramours. When I shed all decoration, he was abusing me why I was looking like a widow. When I fondled other children in the house, he was remarking that I was feeling sad inwardly that I was having no children. When I eat moderately, I was accused of eating like a glutton and wasting money. And when I eat less, I was told that I was acting like that to impress upon the neighbors that food was not given to me in my husband's house. When I undertook fasting, my husband was castigating that I was chanting secretly some mantra to get rid of him, and that I was fasting to please the presiding deity of that mantra. My mother-in-law or father-in-law or other elders in the house did not utter a single word against my husband, even though he was extremely tormenting me mentally. I came to know by experience how hell could be on this earth in my in-laws' house. Time was moving miserably for me in this manner. She continued. In the meantime, an expert in mantra tantra shastras came to our village. It was propagated that he was having great scholarship in astrological science. My father-in-law and mother-in-law invited him to our house. He made some calculations and conducted some strange rituals and declared that I was having misfortune and my horoscope was filled with many inauspicious features, and under the influence of my adverse yogas, my husband became impotent. He advised that all evil effects would disappear if I was thrown out of the house. He asserted that the mantra tantra done by him and the rituals will benefit them, and that my husband would regain his manliness, and that after performing another marriage, he will be blessed with children. The helpless lady continued her narration. My husband, his parents, and all the inmates of the house who were merciless drove me out of the house. Having no other alternative, I started on foot to go at least to my parents' house. In the middle of the way, the bogus magician who visited our house accosted me. He wanted to make me a victim to his despicable sexual desire. I was furious like Bhadrakali and lifted a big rock nearby and hurled at him with all my strength. The rock hit his head strongly and he died then and there. Oh God, even though I am a woman, I killed a Brahmin in compelling circumstances. I was out of my mind. Even in my parents' house, I had to face problems. Even if my parents protect me with utmost affection, There was no guarantee that my brothers and sisters-in-law would treat me with love. The common people saw me killing the pseudo-sorcerer, but they do not know his crookedness. This kind of news spreads quickly in all the 4 directions. Let me go wherever my destiny leads me. With such thought, I was going without any clear direction. Soon I saw a lake. I was very thirsty. I drank water from the lake and quenched my thirst. There was an Audumbara tree near the lake. I heard that Audumbara tree was very much liked by Lord Datta. I was overcome with stupor in my body. I gradually glided into deep slumber at the root of that tree. I got up after some time. I was very much hungry. When I opened my eyes, I saw 2 cobras staying like sentinels on my either side. I saluted the 2 cobras and they departed somewhere as if they respected my prayer. I was singing, Datta Digambara, Datta Digambara, Jai Guru Datta, Datta Digambara. I heard from elders that on mere remembrance, Lord Datta will be pleased and protect devotees. Fortunately, I was in the shade of Audumbara tree also. I was getting a feeling that I was in the shade of the umbrella of compassion of Lord Shri Datta. One traveler who was passing by was listening to my singing of the name of Datta with rapt attention. He stood in the shade of the Audumbara tree. I was afraid and said, "You, who are you? Get out from here immediately. If you will not leave, I will pick up a big rock from here and kill you with it. I killed a bogus magician a short while ago." Then that new person folded his hands and said, "Mother, my name is Ravidasa and I am born in a washerman's family. I am a devotee of Datta. I am living in Kuravapuram. Shri Guru Datta is splendidly shining in the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha to sanctify the earth. He was conveying the good news of his descent to his devotees spread at very great distances through some extraordinary miracles. This is only to be known by some experience. Now I am going to Kuravapuram. You can accompany me if you so desire. Kuravapuram is at a short distance. I visited some of the houses of my relations here and presently returning to Kuravapuram." Then I retorted, "I cannot believe your words. It is immaterial who is that Sripada Srivallabha about whom you are referring. If Sri Sreepada is verily that Dattaswami, he would attract this forlorn lady into his Sri Charana and protect her. The responsibility of proving himself truly as Datta rests with Sri Sreepada. I won't chant his name. I will only recite the name of Datta. I will see what will happen afterwards. If you don't leave this place at once, you will meet with danger from me." That person, without uttering any other word, went away singing, "Datta Digambara, Datta Digambara, Sripada Vallabha Datta Digambara." Afterwards, when I was sitting cross-legged in the posture of a lotus on a hillock and was meditating, I fell as a prey to these hooligans. I was rescued by you from them. Then I said, "Mother, you were rescued only because of the grace of Sri Sreepada. In this creation, there is no country where he does not reside as an indweller, and there is no time where he is not known. In this creation, in different countries and in different times, various incidents occur from the cause and effect connections. He is the grand cause of all causes. In different countries and different times, various events take place to facilitate evolution of living beings in a variety of states of development. No effect can be found in creation without a cause. No one knows whether Sri Sreepada is attributeless or with attributes, or formless or with form, or transcends all these states. He only knows about himself. If we chant the name of Sripada Srivallabha, we can definitely obtain his grace. We can get released from all difficulties and losses. Thereafter, we were traveling towards Kurugadde with those Brahmin brothers and that Brahmin lady named Susheela. All of us were chanting the names of Datta and Sri Sreepada Vallabha and continuing our journey. We appeared like a bhajana party to the onlookers. In the middle of our journey, we reached the hermitage of a great personage named Naamananda. Sri Datta, in the guise of an untouchable, blessing Naamananda. We understood that Sri Naamananda knows all the three times, that is past, present and future. He cordially invited us. Sri Naamananda was saying like this: "The name of my father is Saayanacharya. My name is Saayanacharya. We belong to Bharadwaja lineage. We are Sri Vaishnavas. After entering into the ascetic order, I am called Naamananda. With extreme detachment, I visited all holy places and the Siddha Kshetras in the north. In my quest for a Sadguru who can uplift me, I came to Pithikapuram on my way. As we are Sri Vaishnavites, worship of Shiva is not acceptable to us. We strictly observe purity and religious customs. After visiting Kunti Madhava Swami, I came across a paraya while coming out. The sight of a paraya was unbearable. Adding to that, he came close to me and thundered, "Naamananda, give me Guru Dakshina, then only move from here." I was flabbergasted. All the people in the center of the town were seeing this queer thing. People thought that it was one of the abnormalities of Kali Yuga that an untouchable was demanding loudly Guru Dakshina from an orthodox Sri Vaishnava Brahmin. Some others thought that the untouchable who consumed liquor was intimidating the noble Vaishnava. Then I said, "I do not know you. Even so, I am a Vaishnavite Brahmin and you are a Chandala. My name is also not Naamananda. It is not proper that you should demand forcibly Guru Dakshina from me." I could not speak more than that. His eyes were red like burning corals. His facial expressions strike terror in anyone. He did not yield to my pacifying words and asserted sternly, "You are speaking lies, saying that you do not know me. Roaming like a mad dog, you are questioning all sorts of sundry people about the place where a Sadguru who could uplift you would be available. Being egotistic that you had a Brahmin birth, you fail to see truth. I am your Sadguru. I am conferring the name Naamananda to you in the ascetic order. You give all the money with you to me as Guru Dakshina and prostrate before me in the presence of all the people and accept me as your Guru. If you do, it is all right. If not, I will cut your body with this knife into pieces and keep your flesh into heaps. I will drink your blood and hammer your head repeatedly into a pulp. I will arrest your life from departing from your body. I will allow the life consciousness to stay in each severed part of the body so that you should experience excruciating hellish agony. Business with me will be very specific. Say yes or no. Only 2 words. Even if you pray, not even one among the 3 crore deities would dare to save you. After uttering these strong words, the pariah drew out the sword from the scabbard and was about to kill me. I prostrated to that untouchable in unavoidable circumstances. I offered all the money as Guru Dakshina. To me, all descriptions about God appeared as fiction. However, upsetting all my thoughts, a charming, bewitching, auspicious figure appeared before me. That divine auspicious figure averred, I am Sri Datta. Presently, I incarnated as Sripada Srivallabha in Pitikapuram. You are mine. I am yours. I am your property. You are my property. That which brought us together is Satchidananda. From today, you carry on the propagation of Dharma and attain eternal peace. You will reach me after your exit from this world. Sripada fed Naamananda with his own hands. Sir, I became an ascetic named Naamananda in this way. I wanted to have the darshana of Sri Sreepada in Pitikapuram. I was very hungry. None was giving me food in any house. People were making queer remarks that I was mad and that a tipsy, drunken untouchable collected Guru Dakshina from me. They also decided that it was contrary to Dharma Shastra to give alms to me, as I turned into an untouchable because I accepted a pariah as my preceptor even though I was a Brahmin. The Brahmins of Pitikapuram, having resolved like that, did not offer me bhiksha. I moved to the house of Appalaraja Sharma without any intentional effort. I was so weak that I could not open my mouth even to cry, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. In the meanwhile, Sri Sreepada opened the door and came out with a plate of food. He made me sit on the pile of their house and fed me the food with his ambrosial hands. He cleaned my mouth and hands with his own hands. He placed his bountiful hand of infinite strength on my head and assured, everything will be arranged for you. There is no need to worry about anything. Can't the Lord, who provides food to a frog in the rock, nourish you? I will be behind you wherever you are. I will move with you unseen. I protect you like an eyelid shielding the eye. He bid me farewell with those reassuring words. From that day, I became an ascetic and wandered freely. His invisible divine hand is protecting me always. 4 types of Jeevanmukthas. I questioned, Sir, I heard that liberation can be quickly achieved if we worship Sri Datta. Is there any special procedure of adoration for that? Have we to meditate upon any separate type of mantras? Kindly clear my doubts and help me. For that, Sri Naamananda replied with a placid countenance, My children, destruction of moha, that is infatuation, is moksha, that is liberation. There is no rule that liberation comes only after death. Body can remain in a state of experiencing consequences of past actions. Notwithstanding that, the Jivatma can stay in a liberated state. Such people can be called Jeevanmukthas, that is, those who are liberated when alive. Saalokya Mukti is to live in the region of one's favorite deity. Those who earn more punya than that will have the fortune of living in close proximity to their favorite deity. This is called Saameepya Mukti. Those who have much more punya than that will assume the form of the deity they are adoring. This is called Saaroopya Mukti. In a much more significant state, the aspirant merges into the consciousness of his favorite deity. This is called Saayujya. Devotees of Datta who are in a particular spiritual state experience Saalokya Mukti even while living in this world. However, the body will undergo the results of past karmas. Their mind will be concentrated on the lotus feet of Sri Datta. They observe with their inner vision the principles of creation, the niceties of dharma, and the strange and wonderful procedures conducted by creation and enjoy ineffable bliss. All the divine powers of selfless Yogishwaras are utilized for the welfare of the universe without their involvement. There are some people who attain Saameepya Mukti while living in this mundane world. They will know the divine Leelas of Lord Datta through their inner vision more analytically than Saalokya Mukti devotees. The happiness they derive would be much more. When a living being is encased in a body, he would be in a state of enslavement with many qualities, propensities, and desires. As evolution progresses, the living being knows that it is becoming lighter. It is an overwhelming bliss when this state of weightlessness is experienced. From those devotees of Sri Datta who achieve Saayujya, the divine place of Sri Datta manifests freely at pleasure. Sri Datta has a will. Those great yogis who had Saayujya in Sri Datta do not have any will. Nevertheless, those pious people who have the fortune of meeting them, touching them, and speaking to them receive protection always of Sri Datta through those great yogis. Only Sri Sreepada can confer abundant affluence of this mundane world or of the ethereal world. Human beings adore different forms of deities. All those deities are divine segments of Sri Sreepada. Sri Sreepada only showers his grace through those deities. The significance of adoration of Datta. Then I requested him, Sir, if such is the case, have we to worship deities in different forms? Or are we to worship Sri Sreepada? You are saying that there is no difference between all deities and Sri Sreepada. Kindly explain this matter more clearly for my better understanding. For that, Sri Naamananda was pleased and said, A girl was married. She reached her husband's house. Once, her brother went to see her. The mother-in-law of his sister said to him, Your sister is doing so many thefts in our house. She is consuming large quantities of milk, curd, buttermilk, and ghee stealthily. If it was one theft, I would have overlooked it. Oh, so many thefts! The mother-in-law made a wailing complaint. Then the brother called his sister and advised her, Stop stealing so many things from today. All these things which you are taking are available as integral constituents of undiluted milk. Therefore, you take undiluted milk in the required quantity. The strengths of milk, curd, buttermilk, and ghee are in the undiluted milk. By consuming that single item, you can avoid the censure of your mother-in-law. In the same fashion, if you worship Sri Datta, everything will accrue. As people are of different tastes, they worship various deities. If Shiva is worshipped, Vishnu will not appear. If Vishnu is worshipped, Shiva will not appear. Grace of the two may be identical. Protection of the devotees will also be similar. The results from activities of devotion associated with attributes and forms must be in consonance with those activities. Is it not? When the mass of sins committed in many births decrease and when the fruits of punya accumulate remarkably, devotion to Sri Datta dawns. Therefore, there is nothing impossible to devotees of Datta. None of the deities have the power to alter the writing of Vidhata on the forehead. However, Sri Datta, responding to the suffering of a devotee, may order Brahma to erase the writing on the forehead of his devotee and inscribe a new writing of destiny. Vishnu is the cause for the physical, mental, and the spiritual states of the living beings. He is the Sthitikarta. If suddenly the terrible power of yoga manifests in a jiva who is not ripe enough, his body or mind or intellect cannot withstand that force and experiences a feeling of being burnt alive in raging flames. Therefore, Vishnu helps a jiva to carry on the life's journey in a proper way and keeps him in suitable states according to his karma. There is no difference between Shri Krishna and Lord Datta. Shri Krishna lifted Govardhana mountain. This is known to all common people. Nevertheless, in their previous lives, Gopas and Gopis were great hermits. The mountains are yoga granthis. When the granthis explode, a fierce yogic power starts dancing. Then Jivatma experiences utmost lightness and ease. From this subtle position, great yogic happiness is derived. To obtain this subtle state, one has to take many births. Shri Krishna carried the burden of his dependents and liberated them as Jeevanmukthas by destroying their granthis. This is a spiritual secret. Those who look at this with physical vision will only understand that he has lifted Govardhanagiri and saved his people. Therefore, if Sri Datta desires to change the different states of his devotees, he may instruct Vishnu to speed up the progress of evolution which would otherwise move normally. In this process, he will make the devotee to experience all the troubles due to be experienced in a state of unawareness. As an alternative, Sri Datta shoulders those burdens and responsibilities himself. What a compassionate one! The main aim of the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha is to prepare over 1,25,000 yogis who experience a state of Saayujya with him. If he wants to liquidate the vibrations of all bonds of karma, the aspect of Rudra in Sri Datta would flourish extraordinarily. It destroys all bonds of karma, whether they belong to crores and crores of past births, or whether they relate to future times and grant redemption to the Jivi. The aspect of Brahma, Vishnu, or Rudra would become explicit and protect his devotee appropriately. All this depends on his resolve. We must follow the path of devotion to generate such a will in him. Once in Pitikapuram, when a dependent of Sri Sreepada got up a horse, it threw him down, crushed and injured him. When Sri Sreepada showed his hand of assurance towards him, all those injuries disappeared in a moment. For another who has no faith whatsoever in Sri Sreepada, a vessel with 100 varahas was available. Shri Painda Venkatappaya Shreshthi asked Sri Sreepada to explain this inconsistency. Then Sri Sreepada explained, "Today is a day of death of my devotee, but I extended his lifespan by another 20 years. This decision I made as a reward for his single-minded devotion. Today is a day for getting plenty of wealth for that person who got 100 coins. But because he does not have even an iota of devotion and he derides devotees, I contracted his great yoga of wealth merely to 100 coins. I am servant of servants of my devotees. He is the real emperor who can imprison me in his heart. Even Parameshwara, who is the ruler of all three worlds, serve him as a servant." He expatiated these good things and messages. When Sri Naamananda said like this, we all felt elated. The Brahmin brothers requested Naamananda to prescribe penitence for their sinful acts. Then Sri Naamananda said, "You observe Mandala Diksha by taking single meal a day, earn money by undertaking arduous physical labor. You offer food to virtuous Brahmins by spending that money. Then sin will abate. You will get the vision of Sri Sreepada either physically or in a dream as a sign of the abatement of sin. You must remain righteous even after the Mandala Diksha. If you become slaves to your previous habits by accident, you are sure to get enhanced punishment from Sri Sreepada." Worship of Anagha Sahita Dattatreya. Dattatreya with Anagha Devi is very sacred. The Brahmin lady named Susheela requested Sri Naamananda to tell her about a way to ward off difficulties. Then Sri Naamananda, who was pleased, averred, "Soul is eternal. Mind dies many crores of times in a second and takes rebirth. During sexual intercourse between a couple, if either of them or both of them experience that their mental consciousness was entrapped between life and non-life, the child that is to be born will become an eunuch. A person who destroyed happy married lives becomes impotent owing to that great sin. The life as an eunuch will be like a hell. Some of the causes for impotency or for becoming a wife to an eunuch are as follows: separating loving couple, harassing daughter-in-law in many ways by exhibiting insolence of a shrew, murdering mercilessly infants and women, treating helpless destitutes with cruelty are some of the causes. A man has right to beget 10 children from a woman. It is contrary to dharma to beget more children than 10 from that woman. After the birth of 10 children, that woman has to be treated like a mother. Mother, to remove the impotency and to regain masculinity of your husband and to enjoy all comforts from a favorable married life, perform Anaghavrata and make Sri Dattatreya with Anagha Devi delighted. Sri Datta definitely blesses you. For those who adore Sri Sreepada, happiness of this terrestrial world and ethereal world would shower abundantly. Sri Bapanaarya had a vision of his grandson verily as Sri Dattatreya and recited Siddhamangala Stotram. The words uttered from an exalted state of experience from the vision of Sri Datta are very powerful. In every word, life consciousness prevails for many, many more eons. Mistakes of grammar are not to be searched. There are no restrictions and regulations to read this Siddhamangala Stotra. I was fortunate enough to hear this sacred Hosanna from the mouth of Sri Bapanaarya. That Hosanna is moving in my mind. Listen to it. Sri Siddhamangala Stotram.
श्रीमदनन्ता श्रीविभूषिता अप्पललक्ष्मी नरसिंहराजा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव श्री विद्याधरि राधसुरेखा श्रीराखीधर श्रीपादा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव माता सुमती वात्सल्यामृत परिपोषित जय श्रीपादा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव सत्यऋषीश्वर दुहितानन्दन बापनार्यनुत श्रीचरणा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव सवितृकाठक चयन पुण्यफल भरद्वाज ऋषि गोत्र संभवा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव दो चौपाती देवलक्ष्मी घन संख्याबोधित श्रीचरणा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव पुण्यरूपिणी राजमाम्बसुत गर्भपुण्यफल सञ्जाता जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव सुमतीनन्दन नरहरिनन्दन दत्तदेव प्रभु श्रीचरणा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव पीठिकापुरा नित्यविहार मधुमति दत्त मङ्गलरूपा जय विजयी भव दिग्विजयी भव श्रीमदखण्ड श्रीविजयी भव 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 इति श्री सिद्धमंगल स्तोत्रम संपूर्णम्।
Brief meaning of the Siddhamangala Stotram is as follows. Victory, victory, universal victory, supreme abounding victory to eternally auspicious, richly decorated Appala Lakshmi Narasimharaja. Victory, greater victory, universal victory, superb, imperishable victory to Sripada, wearing the Shri Rakhi, that is the sacred bracelet tied by sister to their brothers from Shri Vidyadhari, Radha and Surekha. Victory, grand victory, total victory in all directions, splendid indivisible victory to Sripada, nourished with the nectar of affection by Mother Sumati. Victory, magnificent victory, victory around all directions, uninterrupted victory to Sri Charana, the son of the daughter of great sage Satyarishi Bapanaarya, extolled by him. Victory, glorious victory, universal conquest, unfragmented victory to the sacred fruit of Savitrikathaka sacrifice, hailing in the lineage of sage Bharadwaja. Victory, victory, universal victory, supreme abounding victory to Shri Charana, explaining the great number Do Chaupati Dev Lakshmi. Victory, greater victory, universal victory, superb imperishable victory to the one born out of great fruit of Punya, to the daughter of pious personage Rajamamba. Victory, grand victory, total victory on all directions, splendid indivisible victory to the son of Sumati and Narahari, Lord Datta Sripada. Victory, magnificent victory, all-round victory, unbroken victory to the one rambling always in Pithikapura, Madhumati Datta, Mangalarupa. May victory shower on Sri Sreepada. He explained these ambrosial words to the Brahmin lady named Susheela. My dear ones, if this very sacred Siddhamangala Stotra is recited, a consequent result on a par with performing Anaghashtami Vrata and offering food afterwards to 1000 pious Brahmins is derived. a result equivalent to the one derived by observing Mandala Diksha, taking food once a day, and arranging feast with the money earned through hard physical labor to 1,000 pious Brahmins will be obtained. This stotra will be read by worthy people. By reading this, Siddha Purushas are seen, and their touch also can be experienced. All desires of the mind are fulfilled. Devotees who worship Datta with pure mind, speech and action will be blessed by the grace of Sripada as soon as they recite this stotra. Siddhas in the ethereal region would move about incognito wherever this stotra is recited. Removal of impotency by the grace of Sri Sreepada. As soon as I heard the nectarous words from the mouth of Sri Naamananda, a thought cropped up in me. Then I said, Mahapurusha, we want to spend this night in this holy premises of the hermitage in reciting this divine panegyric and in talks about the stories of divine sports and pastimes of Sri Sreepada. I submit to your noble kind self to permit us. Susheela and the Brahmin brothers who were with me agreed to my suggestion. The kind-hearted Sri Naamananda put his seal of approval. All the night was spent singing the name of Sri Sreepada with discourses about his stories of sportive plays and recitation of Siddhamangala Stotram. At dawn, the divine Sri Glorious Mangalarati was offered to Sri Sreepada. After the Maha Mangalarati, a cartman came to our hermitage with a double bullock cart loaded with food materials. That cartman told Susheela that her father and mother-in-laws, her husband, will reach the hermitage shortly in another cart. He unloaded the food materials and left. Sri Naamananda was in meditation when the cartman came and left. Sri Naamananda, after he returned to normalcy from meditation, questioned agitatedly, "Where is the cartman?" When he was told that the cartman already left, he remarked, "Oh, what great fortunate people you are! I am the only unfortunate one." All of us were amazed at his lamentation. Sri Naamananda said, "Sri Sreepada is a very compassionate one. He alone came in the guise of a cartman and gave you darshana. Mother, Susheela, you are extremely fortunate. The impotency of your husband is removed. Not only that, your husband, father and mother-in-law are arriving here very soon in a bullock cart." Things happened exactly as that all-knowing about past, present and future Sri Naamananda predicted. Susheela left with her husband, father and mother-in-law to their house. I sought the permission of Sri Naamananda to travel towards Kurugadde with those two Brahmin brothers. With his blessings, I proceeded towards Kurugadde. Victory! Victory to Sri Sreepada Srivallabha! Here ends the 17th chapter of Sripada Srivallabha Charitaamritham.
जय जय गुरुदेवा स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरुदेवा जय जय गुरुदेवा स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरुदेवा ब्रह्म विष्णु पर ब्रह्म विष्णु परमेश्वर रूप आनंद निलय। ओम जय जय गुरुदेवा, ओम जय जय गुरुदेवा, स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरुदेवा।
ॐ जय जय गुरुदेवा, स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरुदेवा। ब्रह्म विष्णु परमेश्वर रूप, ब्रह्म विष्णु परमेश्वर रूप आनंद निलय। ॐ जय जय गुरुदेवा।
शक्तिवे नीवे मुक्तिवे नीवे नवनादुलु नीवेले, नवनादुलु नीवेले। अंडपिंड ब्रह्मांडवुलोन, अंडपिंड ब्रह्मांडवुलोन मुन्नडि नीवेले, मुन्नडि नीवेले। ओम जय जय गुरुदेवा, स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरुदेवा।
ॐ जय जय गुरुदेवा, स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरुदेवा। ब्रह्म विष्णु परमेश्वर रूप, ब्रह्म विष्णु परमेश्वर रूप आनंद निलय। ॐ जय जय गुरुदेवा।
सुमति तनया काटक चयन फलवुवु नीवेले, पुण्य फलवुवु नीवेले। अनघालक्ष्मी समेत स्वरूप, अनघालक्ष्मी समेत स्वरूप